This is an extraordinary experience for me. Um, before I speak to you about the dimensional shifts unfolding, I just want to let you know that as much as the world has sort of come to a grinding halt, and my physical life hasn't changed almost at all, except for my internal world is going through catapults and somersaults and doing all sorts of flick flacks and that. So it's a real gymnasium within me and my consciousness, and sorting and working things out and knowing the rules of whatever it is I'm having to deal with. After my newsletter the other day, I was very unsettled, and I also thankfully received an email from one of our teachers that it was just the capstone on something that I've known for a long time. I'm having to shift something inside of me, which this may benefit you to know this. I've always had a tremendous amount of sort of love and ability to give. And while I've been sort of streaming and picking up about 16 lanes of different frequency information, the ability and the amount of caring and love that I have has wanted to prompt people and to really get people over different lines and across different borders. And I spent many nights now not asleep at all. But the other night, after releasing the newsletter, it became very clear. And what I was shown and taught by my teachers is that there's a multi-layered shift taking place. So I love the absolute idea of all the videos and movies that are going out that are showing new Earth and new this, and they're all at their bandwidth, really gorgeous. They're encapsulating one frequency out of the 16. So I'm watching sort of the videos and whatever's being released and going, you belong to that stream. Yep, you belong to that frequency. And so that's interesting. So I share that with you because it's very important that you understand that no matter what videos, what comments, what things you read, what you're seeing on social media, each thing is only belonging to one small bandwidth, one small frequency, like a radio receiver, and you're tuning into different channels. Now, by now, you're getting the idea of where you belong, what makes you happy, what's happening, and maybe you haven't even been sorted yet. You don't actually know. So, what came through the other night for me is one of two things. The first thing is that I've been loving too much, and what I mean by that is I've been wanting to put the effort in through not only disclosing knowledge and teachings. I've wanted to try and literally walk across the line, pick someone up by the scruff of their neck, and drag them over onto the other side, which is so highly unimpeccable. And it's based because love for me has been really deep and all encompassing. And my teaching the other night was that I had to pull back because that is no longer going to work for me anymore. I can never ever sort of really open up the group to more people if I keep loving like that and showing my love like that, because it'll burn me out. So what made clear the other night was that all I've got to do is bring forward knowledge. It's all I've got to do. Have absolutely no regard for where everyone is in the sorting hats, and everyone is in different places. That in fact, each person needs to now take themselves by the scruff of the neck across the line, show that they have enough self-love to get themselves there. I can't pull anyone across the line anymore. So that sort of over-caring, loving part of me is coming to a very abrupt end, because it's the tension that I have, that I said that I've felt building up inside of me. Now, to help you understand why I used to have that and no longer feel that way, that everyone was get themselves across the line now with the information they're given. I'll help you understand some of the frequencies and some of the shifts that are taking place so that you can understand why I felt pressured to making as many people cross different lines as possible, right? So this is how it came through to me. Now, this is just an overall general idea. The first thing that came through is that at one level, one frequency, there are Earth humans, and they are very new to Earth, that are now through the shift upgrading into better humans, if you want to pull it that way. Please, I have no judgment. It's just my limitation of words is having me speak it this way. So there's an upgrading of humans that are really new to Earth. They're upgrading. And light workers are helping them to do that. So that's one strain of upgrade or evolution that's happening at the moment, ascendance and the shift. Now, those that don't make the opportunity for that shift on Earth to become better humans, there's another plan that I won't discuss in this that follows a whole other destiny altogether. The second stream that I'm picking up that's actually happening as well is that light workers have come from another frequency in to simply help the Earth One's shift, right? But because amnesia sets in, if you go through the birth canal and you come into Earth, amnesia sets in, you forget who you were, you're dependent upon waking up in order to actually switch on your light and be the light worker you're meant to be. Now, many through many ages haven't woken up. They've actually remained in sleep or in the the amnesiac place where they don't remember anything. So even higher frequency than students or advanced adepts or masters get sent into Earth to then wake the light workers up. And those would be those kind of teachers. That's a whole different frequency of being. Teachers who are here to wake light workers up so that light workers can then help Earth people. Now, that doesn't mean that these masters or advanced or frequency beings come in and they can't help Earth people. Of course they can. They can help across the board. So that's the other thing, is that they're here to wake light workers up. Now, that's interesting because the next frequency that I'm picking up of shift is the actual shifting, the physical shifting of the Earth itself. Earth as an entity in and of herself is shifting. She's shifting from a third to a fourth density, dimension, whatever you want to call it. Now, the qualities of this other Earth, they're calling it, is one of balance, of way more unity, very focused on love, and very focused on oneness and wisdom. This is all a part. Now, there's still duality, but it's very much swayed to a more lighter disposition than it is to a negative disposition. So here's the next task. Some are helping those that are capable of shifting to the next Earth. There are light workers that are helping them to shift to the next Earth so that they can live in relative peace and harmony and balance and oneness and community and wisdom. And that's their next journey into incarnating into whatever the light body form. So that's the next one. Next, we have the higher, really higher dimensional ascended kahuna masters that came in. Now, they haven't been known in the public. They've been very hidden from the public. And they have come in to help on a global level to bring service at this time of the shift. They've not been in the public eye. They have been absolutely undercover, not needing to be known, seen, or whatever. And here's where the next layer comes in. because they've also come in to work with specific students, to help specific students to shift to a higher frequency while they are serving on earth. What does this mean? Well, I brought in a whole other level now that helps you understand why I've said there's more at stake than what you can imagine. I released on Facebook the other day a statement that said, whatever comes down, whatever descends must go up. A bunch of you took a stab at it, right? And you took the regular stab at it, and you're all correct in whatever you said. But that wasn't the hidden meaning of what I was trying to get across. At this time, purposefully higher dimensional entities come to Earth for two reasons. They only come in these times of shifts to A, be of service, but to B, to dimensionally ascend to a higher frequency themselves. This is the place you can do it in a quickening. So let's take, for instance, a sixth or seventh density or dimensional being could take 25 million Earth years to work through to a next vibrational frequency. But by coming to Earth, being of service, there's a quickening that takes place here, which means in one lifetime, they can ascend to a whole new frequency in one Earth lifetime. So masters tend to make use of these shifts to upgrade themselves while they are impacting and being of service. It is one of the reasons we drew the masters we did. We've been quite aware for a few decades now that not only are we here to help light workers, to help people to go to whole new frequencies, go to a new earth, upgrade themselves, become better humans, become great humans, doing all of that. But we have told our students over a very long time now, do the work, do the work. And I'm bringing it out in plain sight now that do the work is twofold. It's your service. It's your giving of your light. It's the living of your current frequency of light in any creative way that you deem fit, that suits you in your unique beingness. There's no goods or bad yeses or nos. You create it, you live your light. But advanced students are doing something else as well. They're upgrading their frequency and they're learning from a master, from a teacher, how to take themselves personally to another frequency. So when they leave Earth, they've jumped a bandwidth into another dimension. They've moved from fourth to fifth, fifth to sixth, sixth to seventh, seventh to ninth. It doesn't matter what. You can only go where you are. Now, here's the clue. You can't make a jump in frequency, understanding, wisdom, being, and knowingness and power if you don't own the one you're in. You can't just skip through intellectually through frequencies and become enlightened from one and intellectually read your way through. The only way to do it is to embody the one you're in, be the light at the frequency that you are at. Then, through a teacher or a master, you can focus internally on the next one. So your service would typically be, for instance, you can serve Earth people and help them go to a new Earth from third to fourth while you're working on becoming a fifth density being. There's two streams here happening, two spirals, two energy things happening here. There's the internal journey, but there's also the journey of service. And both matter. No masters or adepts come to Earth during a shift and completely just work on themselves. Just the radiation of their being, even if they're in a cave, helps the entire Earth shift. So they choose specific times to do this. So by what I've tried to show you, there's a lot at play here. There's a lot at play. And I want you to just carefully consider what I've released and said. See where you're at. See why we had the teachers we've had, why you have the teachers you have, where you are, because we often ask the question, who are you and what are you? And I've got to tell you that a little bit of passion or fire of ambition goes a long way. Set your sights reasonably lofty. The further you set your sights, of course, it may take quite a few incarnations if you set it too high. Be reasonable about your sights. We know within our being where we can help certain individuals shift to. That's why we've made a statement often through the years that 1 in a million. So I want you to have a look at that statement of 1 in a million. Out of the analogy of all the options I've given you, where do you think 1 in a million sits? It certainly doesn't sit at people going from one earth to the new earth. Quite a few people are going to go through to that one. No, we're offering something else. So I realized when I wrote the newsletter that everyone has different destinies according to where they're at. I'd like to suggest that most, if not all, the people in Inspire Sphere working with us are light workers. So that at least makes you understand that you're here purposefully. You're not here just to evolve as a earth human into a better earth human. You are here as a light worker. You are meant to shine a frequency of light to help the planet at this time. And it's not that you have to overtly do too much. It's not about that, but you can simply hold a lightness and a joy within your being, and that'll help make an impact. Be kind to the person on the street. Kindness goes a long way. So light workers can find many ways to do this. Where was I? So this gives you a bit of a map to help you understand what we're dealing with. Now, my amount of love that I started this with, where I was too much, was that each one of you are spread throughout that map at different places. What I was, through my overcaring, was trying to grab everyone by the scruff of the neck, being very honest now, and I was trying to drag you all to become the 1 in a million. And that is not only unfair to you, but it's unfair to me too. And it lacks humility. And so I stood on that humility square the other night, and that's why I was shown this unfolding. I've learned in the last couple of months, I've made 30 mistakes that I can even remember. I've made so many mistakes, and it's part of the journey. It's part of how you learn. You've got to be so comfortable with being wrong and making mistakes until you laugh when you do. So I long for the day when I get a clarity in what I'm doing, that there's no more mistakes anymore. But that day will come. So have a look at this. Now you understand. And I'm not going to try and grab anyone and drag them through any hoops anymore. I'm going to just make stuff possible. I'm going to teach what comes through. You're going to grab your own scruff of your own neck. You're going to have a look at the plot that I've lined out, and you're going to make decisions about yourself, about the amount of discipline, consciousness, change you wish to bring forward to be on there where you want to be. Now, there will be a sketch that I'm going to place hidden on the website in the treasury, right at the very bottom, beneath all the videos. I'm actually going to have this in an image form so that you can see what it is that I'm seeing in my mind's eye. And it may just help you really pull together all the options. And then make the options. And through the years, we've also sort of spoken at multi-levels, and we've told the teachers and our advanced students about this, is that we don't speak at one layer, we speak in multiple of frequencies. And whatever hat you're wearing, wherever you are at, that is what you're going to hear. And that's where we're going to proceed from now. We'll teach, and you will hear according to where you're at. And you'll receive whatever it is you need to receive. So we go forward fearlessly from here. And I think that's about all. And I appreciate comments. I mean, I really do. I love comments. I love feedback, because most of the time I'm flying blind, and unless someone shares something with me, I have no cooking clue. So I do really appreciate the comments and that, because it helps me understand how people are digesting and how they're receiving things. And anyway, head to the Treasury, and you'll see what you were able to see.